Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is September 30th, the last day of September.
Amazing.
Thursday, we'll be changing the big clock here, big calendar here. And let me give you just a quick weather report. And I'm going to tell you this. Today's weather, if you want to know what today's weather is, just think about the last 3, 4, 5 days. And if you want to know what's going to happen in the next 10 days, just think about today. And if I owned a TV station, I would call up my weatherman and say, mandatory vacation for the next 2 weeks because you've got nothing at all to say. We're going to fill it in with more sports and human interest. Anyway,
Yeah.
today is episode number 95 of Grit and Good News, and we are broadcasting live from our studio here in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. Do I sound like I'm in a good mood today?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
good.
getting a lot of bad moods.
Yeah.
Perfect weather just fires a guy
It is
up.
beautiful, no doubt.
Running the board capably as always is Sam Brooks, and to my right, your friend, my friend, our pal, our leader, our
Thank you,
compatriot,
brother. Thank you.
Scott Brooks.
Good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
What number? 95?
95.
All right. So here's what we do. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're on live noon to 1. And we talk about a lot of things. We got a full slate today. But to get us started, Sammy takes the number of episodes that we're on, which is 95. And he finds notable, not just some jackleg that, played
Jackleg's a great
played third string center for some team we don't even hear of, but notable players in any league for sports, number 95. And then he gives us a chance first to say, do we know any? I know one.
Okay.
Chris Jones, active player.
That's easy.
That's the only one I know. I don't
Yeah.
think I know any other 95s.
So I'm gonna do the NFL. I'm gonna pass it off to Jeff because he says he has some hockey players.
All right.
I got Richard Dent.
Oh yeah,
end,
played for the Bears.
85 Bears.
The
Great.
best defense in history of football.
Yep.
Super Bowl winners.
What do they call that defense? They call it something.
Good.
They might. Okay.
Oh no, they didn't have a name for that, did they?
I think they did, but I don't know.
Oh.
I got Greg Lloyd. You know him, linebacker.
Yeah, Greg Lloyd played. Don't tell me. Panthers?
Either Panthers or Packers. One of those two.
Okay.
Because I have Packers, but I'm not for sure.
All right.
Quinnen Williams. He's
Yeah.
current for the Jets. Myles Garrett. And then Chris Jones. And then I'll pass it to Jeff.
Myles Garrett is number 95, really?
Promise.
Good. And then Quinnen Williams, where he played college?
Bama.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to talk about that in just a minute.
Your Bama beat Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Great game.
You do your hockey, and then we'll chat about it.
It's brief. Matt Duchene of the Stars.
Yeah.
95. Very capable forward.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. That was one of those deals. We got him from Nashville. They've got some weird things that you can do where if a team wants to buy a player out, they don't do that in other sports.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of, no. Baseball might in the minor leagues or something.
So they can buy him out, and then another team can sign him, and the other team can sign him for a pretty good rate because they're getting their buyout money still from the other team.
Yeah.
And if it's a 2 or 3 year buyout, they're still getting it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's a sweet deal. And Pierre Turgeon, a beautiful
Yeah.
French-Canadian name, played
That is a
mostly for
great name.
Montreal and the Rangers. That's all we got.
Yeah, I remember both those players.
Yeah.
Know both those players. And hockey's already started back up in terms of the preseason. And our man Jamie Benn's already on the shelf.
And
I think NBA's coming back too. I think NBA's like right around the corner.
What a terrible.
Nobody but
Dallas Cowboys have three first overall picks.
Dallas Cowboys?
No, I said the.
No, you said the Cowboys.
I meant Mavericks.
You meant the Mavericks.
Yeah. Did you hear what his injury was?
Yeah, collapsed lung.
Collapsed lung.
Jamie Benn,
so they were
captain.
Collapsed lung, and there was a puncture to the lung, and they're going to have to do surgery. It'll be at least 30 days before he can even skate. And
yeah, that's tough.
Speaking about the NBA and the WNBA, so I had my out-of-town guest down for the Packers game, lovely niece Carrie and her wonderful husband Joe, and they were talking about the big incident in the Lynx versus the Arizona playoff game. Did you get this story? So,
I didn't either.
Yeah, and I think
Phoenix.
No, I'm sorry. Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so somebody steals a ball uh, steals the ball in back court, and after she steals the ball, the legs kind of get tangled, and the ball stealer goes all the way down and dunks, and the other person is on the ground, and she broke something, and then the Lynx coach went crazy ballistic to the refs,
Oh, I
and
heard about it. She got kicked
and
out.
it took her own
Yeah.
players to pull her aside, and then the news conference, she just ripping people.
Yeah, I
It
saw
was just so
she
classless.
got
Yeah,
suspended.
yeah.
Yeah, other than watching Caitlin Clark, maybe from time to time, I have nothing. Bob, our buddy, loves the WNBA. I don't care for it.
You
All
know,
right.
one of our great Substack subjects was the NBA destroying its golden goose.
Yeah. The WNBA.
The
Yeah.
WNBA.
Yeah.
And
Caitlin.
then she's got her
Sorry.
new Nike shoe
Oh
out
yeah,
that sold out
she's
immediately.
going to be. You know what? Speaking of
We're
that,
giving it too much press.
well, we got a lot to
Yeah,
cover
let's
today,
go.
but I do want to mention that I saw Michael Jordan at the Ryder Cup the other day, and I was thinking just about a guy he's a little bit younger than I am, uh, yet the guy has that deal where he makes 5% of every Air Jordan shoe sold in the world. He makes 5% of every shoe. So
And then there's
he's a
Air Jordans with other people's names, like the Caitlin, like the
yeah, I think if it's got
like
his
the
Air
Luca
Jordan,
Air
yes,
Jordan. Yeah,
whatever has air on it,
yeah,
it's not just shoes either, but it's
yeah.
just an amazing thing. The guy is just rolling in the dough. They showed a picture of him. He had on a watch I saw on some, and they homed in on it, and it was a $695,000 watch. Anyway, speaking of the Ryder Cup, the Americans, we're going to talk a lot more about this in just shortly. But I do want to say that the Americans lost 15-13. The Europeans only needed 14 and a half to win. Going into Sunday, it was pretty much done. And then the Americans did something that was unthinkable, really.
And unprecedented.
And frankly, Russell Henley, who's the number 3 ranked player in the world, which is very few people know that, and a great putter, and had great putts the whole weekend, came up about 2 inches short. Had he sunk that, it would have really come down to the last 2 pairings. It was
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, Russell Henley. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an incredible experience to watch, which I will always watch the Ryder Cup. The next Ryder Cup is in Ireland in 2027.
Did you say we're going?
Hell, I'd love to go to that, man. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I'm
All right,
overdue for Ireland. I'll tell you
it'd
that.
be nice to just see what the pricing is to go.
Yeah.
Couple of updates. So we have the Marine Ball. We told you about that last week. There will be a Marine Ball, and I just realized I owed them some information. But the Marine Ball in November the 10th, there will be some podcasts done. Sammy's working with the Marines now on doing those podcasts. But the Marine Ball, really fancy gig, first time in forever that they've had one here. So we'll have more on that as it gets closer, which November the 10th is getting closer by the date, as you just said a minute ago.
Right.
Tomorrow is October 1st. Hard to believe.
I got my
Cowboys.
pumpkins.
Yeah, you got your pumpkins
I
ready?
only got 10.
Oh, only got 10.
For you local people, and Aldi is in all over the
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
Aldi is the place for pumpkins. I learned about it last
Place
year.
for pumpkin.
$3.99 for a really nice size. That is a bargain.
Well, it's hard to believe it's already October the
Best
1st.
$39 I spent this year.
A couple of sports team updates. We know the Rangers are in the news because the season is over. Matter of fact, the playoffs start today in Major League Baseball. Right now, as of right now, I think 3 or 4 games on today. So you know what I'll be doing in my office. But the Rangers are in the news beyond that because Bruce Bochy is no longer the manager. What say you? Yeah.
Well, what say I?
Yep.
Scott wears a hat almost every day, and I even have a bigger hat collection than he does. But because of the good hair, I don't always like
Yeah.
to wear them.
Yeah.
But
You don't need a hat. I do.
but I do have the World Series hat on because I was thinking today when I read about Bochy being fired that we just 3 years ago we went to the World Series. Bochy was the coach. This was a lot like when Jerry Jones went and hired Barry Switzer off the couch in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and Chris Young went and personally went to a visit in I think somewhere in Tennessee, maybe Nashville.
Mhm.
And Bochy had 2 rings with San Francisco.
Yeah.
He's like 5th on the all-time win list. Happily retired. Pull him out of retirement. Wins the World Series. Last year they take a dive. This year, crummy, make a big run late, and then Hank late. And then the next thing I do is I see an article in the bottom page 2 of the sports about San Francisco letting go of their
Yeah.
guy, and they asked the GM, well, what about Bochy? And he goes, well, I don't know that Bochy's free. Well, now that
Yeah.
he's free, Rita told me she just saw it today that's heating up, and I'm saying, Bochy, you're 70 years old. I'm 70 and I look like I'm 62. He's 70 and looks like he's 82.
Yeah.
He walks like he's 82. Go back
He
to the
walks like he's
couch.
102,
Go
actually.
back to the couch with the wife. You don't need the money. You don't need the aggravation. And what drives a guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I do hope and think that he will be done this time. I was going to read you a stat for about the Rangers and it's an amazing thing. But Bochy, if somebody would have said 4 years ago, we're going to hire a manager to a 3-year deal, he's going to win a World Series in one of those, we just said, bring it 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100 times. And I don't think he was fired, although it may have been. I
No.
think they mutually
It
agreed.
was clear that it was a mutual
But
walkaway.
Bochy just looked. I mean, that's got to be a strain on a body to do what he. I mean, traveling all the time. I just don't think it's all that glamorous when we really get behind the scenes. But listen to this. The Here are the Rangers pitching staff for this year. And I don't know all these acronyms, but ERA obviously first in the American League, if not all of baseball. WHIP, which I think with hitters
Wins above replacement.
wins above replacement. Okay, well, that's first. The average, opponent's average against the Rangers, first. OBP,
On base percentage.
first. And OPS, first. The Rangers pitching staff, including the bullpen, was first in all the major categories in baseball, and yet we don't even get to the playoffs.
And they say defense wins in most sports, and they say pitching wins
Yeah, I
in
mean, but
baseball.
that we didn't prove that wrong because
Right.
I guess we just didn't have any offense. Makes sense to go back to the Giants because I mean, I just think the Giants. I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I think Bochy's. I mean, it does make sense what Chuck's saying because Posey is running the show out there. Oh, somebody calling in. So anyway, we'll see what the Rangers do.
Yeah.
I suspect we'll get a young whippersnapper
Yeah.
somewhere, and we'll see. Couple of Tarnations we got today. I'm about over the edge, to tell you the truth. In Philadelphia, as Rush would say, in Philadelphia today, September the 30th, the Office of Immigrant Affairs is putting up the red flag emblazoned with the star of the Chinese Communist Party in front of City Hall to celebrate the anniversary of the establishment of the Communist Chinese Party. Tell me that is not happening in our homeland. That we are you put up a flag and you're either recognizing somebody, and usually that's half staff, but the flags are to indicate pride, right? To
Mhm.
indicate something special, to indicate something sovereign, to indicate something worthy. And here in America, in the city of brotherly love of all dang places,
Right.
we are hoisting a flag to recognize the Communist Chinese Party. Tell me we haven't lost our mind. It's absurd. And
Right.
whoever made that stupid decision, I wish I could swear sometimes, but I guess I can, but I have enough discipline not to. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why don't we fly the Iranian Army's flag? Why don't we fly Cuba. How you say it? Is it Cuba or Cuba?
Cuba.
Why don't we fly their flag? I mean, it's gotten absurd, but that is a tarnation I will never forget. And Philadelphia ought to be ashamed. All right, Hillary Clinton. I didn't get it off the printer, but Hillary Clinton now is chirping. And here's the tarnation. I don't know if it's what she said that makes me so angry. And what she said was that essentially the religion of white men, not the religion, but the essence of white men and our creed, which she's referring to the Christian creed, the Christian mantra, uh, is what's holding America back, and in whatever way she deems is destroying America. And at this point, I'm like, I don't care what she has to say, and I really don't, because I don't think that the number of people that listen to what she has to say is growing smaller and smaller and smaller. The issue I have is, why do we have to keep being exposed to this woman and her husband? Their heyday was 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and they're still, and Fox News and the others, Fox News has got to always be posting crap like that, because it's not newsworthy until it's in the news. It's it, but that's what she's up to now. I don't know what she's trying to achieve, but I can't. She's
Hillary,
ticking me off.
can I remind you that you do have a husband? And let me ask you this: is he white?
Yeah,
Is he Christian?
it's
And so
at the end of the day, when we get to heaven, hopefully, uh, we're going to know by then. If not by then, we will know when we're there who the Antichrist is. And I'm telling you, we've seen that person. And I'm not calling Hillary Clinton the Antichrist, but we will get there. Once we learn it, we will say, "Ah, I knew it. I knew it. It was her or him."
I don't
Mary
need to
says,
sleep
"I
over
miss
that.
this." Mary? The city of Philadelphia, in front of City Hall, is flying the red communist Chinese
The
flag.
immigration department of the
Well, but it's in front of City Hall.
right.
So it's the department inside City Hall, which if you drive by it, you're not going to know that. You're just going to see the flag flying above City Hall, like we would have it here. We just fly in our city.
Does
We don't know.
every department get to put up a flag?
I don't know, but
Jeez.
the mayor there, brilliant as he or she is, and I mean that city's a mess anyway. But that's where it's coming from, Mary. So we got Hillary Clinton running her dang mouth, and I'm about sick of it. Do you have any other tarnations in the world today that you want to bring to the forefront?
Uh,
Sammy, you have any? Besides that shirt you're wearing?
Go Warriors.
Mhm.
I think after week 4, the Cowboys are first in points scored, and then first in points scored
They're
allowed.
dead last.
Dead
Yeah.
last.
Dead last.
and
Yeah.
and after week 4, Dak Prescott, who
Is
is
leading.
playing better than I've ever thought, is leading in um,
Yeah.
passing completion percentage, yards, throws, interception ratio. Really a surprising job. Couple. We're going to talk about ties now or later.
Oh, you can go ahead and
Well,
because
okay.
that's a
So,
big tarnation for
so
me.
there was this great line in Tim Collishaw's column about after this tie that now we've got a hockey record
Hmm.
of 1, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
But I did a little research on ties, and last year there were 16 games that went into overtime, which was 5%
Yeah.
of all the games, and there were 0 ties.
Yeah.
And then I got this cute meme from my brother, Cheesehead Brian, nice going, buddy, saying. And when I read this to Rita, she go, "What do you mean What's the Super Bowl era? What do you mean by that?" I go, "All games in the Super Bowl era, which
Right.
is all games since
The 60s.
1966.
Right.
Teams that had a 40 or more points scored in the game at home. You score more than 40 and you're at home, and your record for those teams is 300-0.
Yeah.
And now your record under those circumstances is 300-1.
Yeah. No, the whole league.
In all of
Well,
football.
I mean, that game the other night was the second only the second game to be in the 40s and end in a tie. The first one was 43-43 and included the Vikings.
So
But I can't remember the other team they were playing. But the first of all, I will remind everybody watching this show, there's only one of the three of us in this room who has been pro Dak. So I don't want to hear. Don't be giving me that, Sammy. Y'all been trashing Dak. Y'all been trashing Dak for a year.
I'll admit to it, and
Yes. Thank you for being honest,
I'm
Sammy.
gonna tell you
You need
what.
to go to church.
Crow does not taste that good when you eat it.
No, it doesn't. Dak is a very good quarterback. So we'll find out what
Even better, man.
an even better man. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out what we do on the defense. Mary says there's more than one Antichrist. There may be a
I was thinking that
gaggle
too,
of
Mary.
them.
I was thinking that,
There may
Mary.
be a team of Antichrist. And Chuck Super Bowl announced. Oh my gosh, Chuck.
You don't like Bad Bunny?
Let me tell you this about Bad Bunny. First of all, he looks like an idiot. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but he
No,
does.
no, no. You say worse things.
Well, he
That's
does.
when we're working on you. Go ahead and
Yeah,
say
well,
it. Yeah.
when you look at him, the way he dresses, he looks like an idiot. Trying to be Liberace. And the second thing is he doesn't hardly speak English. And the third thing is that he attracts such. I don't even know if he attracts a football crowd. And so maybe that's the point of the
That's
NFL. They
never
want
been the goal of halftimes.
they want everybody in the world who isn't interested in football to come
Right.
watch halftime. I don't. You know what? Why don't they just announce George Strait? Why don't they just announce AC/DC? Why don't they announce um, I don't pick somebody. I mean, it's just ridiculous that we
It's
got to be
beyond your pay
exposed.
grade, and you just have to do
It's
what my mom always told me: don't worry about things you can't
well, that's
control.
true, but I still can rant about it. Back to your ties. The NFL is worth I don't know how many hundreds of billions of dollars, and there's 32 teams, right?
Yep.
All of them are worth more than $1 billion, I would say, close to it, if not more. So we're talking probably, I don't know what the league is worth, 200 billion, and we can't figure out how to have a game where there is no possibility of a tie. We can't. And now hockey's different, in my opinion. And hockey has a system by which a tie can actually help you or hurt you. It depends because of their point system. Now, if the NFL wants to go to a point, yeah, Metallica, I'd take that. Like Metallica song they play at Virginia Tech, Sandman. But anyway, the NFL has a tie system. It would be no different than if baseball had a tie.
I got a theory.
What's the theory?
I got a theory that part of this. Okay, first of all, we have a new deal this year where we only go one overtime, and it could go two last year. I think the NFL Players Association had a hand in that, saying you already moved us up from 14 games to 16 games, 17 games, and we're exhausted after especially a game where it's 40-40. Do you know that there were 3 punts in the whole game, and 2 of them they were all early, and those teams both marched up the field. No bombs, just a whole bunch of first downs getting you there. Go to 3rd and 4th down, and I think they said enough is enough.
Just do it like college.
Just
Just do it like college. I mean,
have it. What's
just
the
do it
sin in
like.
a tie? What is the sin in a tie?
What if we
What's the point?
what if we end up like tied with the 49ers? We end the season 9-8,
It
9-8.
can cost us it wouldn't if
It
we're
would
tied
go to
with-
us, right? Because if we tie with, say, the 49ers go 9-8 and we go 9-8,
Well,
we
have
have
a
that
tie.
dash
We
one.
have a
So wouldn't
tie.
they give it to us?
No, we'd be 9-7-1. You know?
Yeah, you wouldn't be 9-8.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not-
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So that's what I'm talking about. But I don't want to watch any sporting event where I end up where I was when I began watching it.
Let me tell you what, that stadium was so full of cheeseheads, it was ridiculous.
they can
And
stay home.
they were vocal, and they came away without a loss. And I think the Cowboys to get away without a loss, it was like a victory. And I got no problem with a tie. And you
ties,
know how I hold, how I hold my shoe on?
Yeah.
I tie it up.
Well, that's good. All right, so there you have it. All right, we got several things we want to talk to you about today. I'm going to start with a an amazing story. The backstory, and I'll keep it very brief, is that a young lady was brutally, cold-blooded, murdered by an immigrant, and I want you to hear her dad was invited to Congress to speak on a panel, or maybe just by himself. I want you to hear what he had to say. His name is Stephen Federico, and this is what the man had to say. And tell me whether or not you believe we all ought to be saying the same thing, whether it was our child or not. We all ought to be saying the same thing. Send me play it. Yep.
Introduce you to Logan Federico, a 22-year-old aspiring teacher. She was visiting friends when a 30-year-old with a lengthy rap sheet broke in and murdered her in cold blood.
Think about your child coming home from a
This
night
is
out
her
with their
dad.
friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them, and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 times, 25 felonies, was on the street. You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. Stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this.
Introduce you to
That's good, Sam.
Logan.
So, I mean, obviously, you can hear the pain and anguish in the dad's mind,
feel
heart,
it.
soul. You know, I've often said that everything that in life has a source from which that death originates. So I mean, God forbid that Richard Sturban, who happens to be the deep voice, the bass for the Oak Ridge Boys, announced this week that he has pancreatic cancer. So should that take his life, it will be pancreatic cancer that started his path to dying. And it's in every case. And so when I look at our country and I notice, like we all do, there are parts of decay. Some are already dead, some are dying, some are at the beginning of that. I look at where the source is, and I am telling you, this may be unfair in all sorts of ways. I don't believe it is, but I believe Washington, D.C., and the people that go there, by and large, are the reasons or the origins for the death, literal and figurative, of this country. They're 25 felonies? I mean, whatever happened to the 3 strikes and you're outlaw?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
25.
I don't know that we currently have a mechanism for federal rules that get down to sentencing guidelines or release
Yeah.
guidelines, but I do know this. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is it liberals in positions of power in judiciary and in um, setting up standards that that have allowed the situation where so many criminals are released?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think that's something that conservative conservatives have done.
well, you know,
And
you look at all these, well, speaking of Philadelphia, by example, there's a district attorney there that is so light on crime. The LA had a district attorney there that got booted out because of his crime stance. Look at Chicago. But anybody, I mean, you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be a genius to look at a case where you've got 25 felonies. Who looks at that and says there ought to be a mechanism for that guy to be free? It doesn't make any sense to me. 25 felony, I would say 3 felonies. We do have a 3 strikes and you're outlaw in this country. And so we got a guy who kills this young lady. She was as innocent as the day is long, and he just decided to kill her. for no apparent reason. I mean, I don't know what he got out of the deal, but it goes back, and there is a difference, obviously, between state, local, and the federal bureaucracies. However, what I argue that what the liberal side of things stands for in Washington, D.C. permeates jurisdictions at the lowest level throughout our country, and that's why we hear words like or labels like that's a blue city, right, or a blue state, or a red city, or a red state. It's because that which is done in D.C. has permeated in various ways and on various sides of the aisle jurisdictions.
Don't many politicians on both sides of the aisle now and forever make decisions that they think um, benefit not just society, not just the jurisdiction that they're in, but a lot of times selfishly make
Absolutely,
decisions
absolutely.
that benefit themselves. And I don't see where the self benefit is other than if there's a feeling that the light on crime, putting people on the streets, somehow gets you reelected.
Yeah, I think that's where it boils down to. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. I mean, why would you well, you could say add that to a long list of things. Why would anybody be open borders if it weren't for extra votes? Why would anybody be soft in crime? Is it unless it were
Right.
extra votes or more support, whatever, out of those communities that commit the most crime? And the list just goes on and on and on. Why do we have congressmen and women and senators and people in administrations slobbering all over themselves to accommodate a transgender community that makes up I mean 0.0000% of of the population, because they believe somehow that that's going to equate to votes from that community and from those out there who want to be compassionate and all this other crap. The other day in church, I may have said this on last Thursday, but we had a guy who I love was talking about, we're the reason the church has lost so many members is because we we look at your lifestyle and we say that's not acceptable and blah blah blah. And to some extent, I would say, given certain denominations, that is true. There's a dogma there that says if you've been divorced like I have, the Church of Christ was brutal on me. But I say this: we can either love people straight to hell or we can love people straight to heaven. So we are to love everybody. But this guy that kills ought to pay every consequence there is, just like the killer of Charlie Kirk, just like any other killer. But who? And I can make the same argument about the Charlie Kirk's murder. Who? How can it be in 2025 that some goofball can climb up on a roof and take out a guy? But
Yeah.
something failed, and what I'm saying is that when we have a dad who's paying, my mother was murdered. We all know that. I was 30 years old, so I was still, as I look back on life now, say quite the young whippersnapper. But I was young, and I sued the place what happened. I went before city council. The place where it happened turned into from a restaurant club to a pharmacy of all things. So we made some progress, but I didn't have a young dad trying to live life. I mean, if that were to happen today, I would be like this dad.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind, and I wanted you all to see what others are going through.
Yeah. And I don't want to put the LGBT community in any way related to this discussion. It's completely independent. But back to the question of do we think that people think that by being light on crime,
Yeah.
that will help them get reelected? And maybe the answer is it actually does.
I would, yeah, it does.
So then you know what? It goes the old. If I point a finger at you,
Yeah, 3 point back.
3 are pointing back at
Yeah,
me.
I
So
think what happens is ultimately, like in LA, so much violence occurs in those jurisdictions where there's light on crime. At some point, the camel's back is broken, or the straw it becomes too heavy that broke the camel's back. And so it runs its course. These people that are light on crime and immigration. Look what's happened in immigration. I mean, finally, Biden just opened the doors. It got too much. Trump comes in and says, we're closing them. If Biden or God forbid Harris had won and it continued, at some point that camel's back would have been broken.
Yeah.
So I wanted you guys to see that. Let's talk about Ryder Cup. So Jeff and I, Sammy not so much, but Jeff and I are big golf fans. The Ryder Cup is one of those events where I will, as Sonia witnessed, watch all 3 days. I didn't do a dang thing really. Watched the Ryder Cup, and I was discouraged on day 1 and on day 2 because going into day 3, which is where the singles line up and you play head to head, we were down. We were out the door almost, and we almost came back. And so the Ryder Cup is a wonderful event. Played every 2 years, alternating countries. So here this year, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, in 2027, it's in Ireland, Limerick, Ireland. And then in 2029, it'll be back here in the country somewhere, I think in Whistling Straits, wherever that is, Pennsylvania, maybe.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So it's a wonderful event, and it only consists of the European team is obviously the best players from Europe. It doesn't include Asian, South Pacific, and that sort of thing. That's the President's Cup,
Right.
which is the other off years.
And originally it was only Great Britain,
Was it? Yeah.
but then so many other great European countries, players and countries, and they changed it.
Well, it's our best players, supposedly our best players, against their best players, and it's a great event. But this event, which was held right outside New York City, about 30 miles outside New York City, at a wonderful golf course called Bethpage Black, it got ugly. And Sammy has, real quick, we're going to show you 3 videos. This is beyond sports. This is what is being said. What are we saying about ourselves as a country when we watch this kind of behavior? And in some of these cases, I think in each case, the vulgarity has been bleeped out. But I wanted you all to see the first one. I think is Rory McIlroy, the leader of the European team, who's played in many Ryder Cups and who is the number 2 player in the world, right behind Scotty Scheffler. This is an example of what was happening. He's standing over his ball, and if you listen closely, you'll hear somebody in the gallery, which is the fan, say something to him.
That bunker's looking tasty.
Guys, shut the fuck up.
So, yeah, you can stop it. Sorry for the language. I didn't bleep that one out. But that's Rory McIlroy standing over the ball, getting ready to hit. Now, I make the argument that golfers ought to be able to withstand people talking while they're hitting the ball. Matter of fact, in the Live Golf League, there's music blaring, fans are screaming and yelling, so they play. It's a different kind of environment. But in this case, it's the Ryder Cup, and like with tennis players, in a serve, you don't speak, you don't say anything. In this case, Roy was standing over his ball, and they're taunting him. Sammy, get ready for the second one. I want to play you all 3 of these. So this is another example of what was happening. And I think it's pretty much Rory McIlroy. So this is Rory McIlroy, again, who's the vocal leader. He's very opinionated. He's a bright kid. He's a great golfer. He's Europe's Tiger Woods, so to speak. This is he and his wife. I don't know where they're walking to, but watch what happens as they're walking out towards what looks like a green. Okay. So if you watch it again, you'll see his wife who's in that brimmed hat. You'll see a bottle that's thrown at her. And play it again, Sam. So a fan throws whatever that was. I'm not sure what it was. They said it was a bottle. I don't know if they mean glass bottle or water bottle, but it hit her. Could have been hit her in the head. Doesn't have anything to do with this other than being Roy McIlroy's wife, and she's American. And then the last one is at Rory. Yeah. So here's another example of what happened over the weekend in the Ryder Cup.
Oh, come on. Come on, man. Seriously.
So what there's another example of it, and that happened on every hole, a lot towards Rory, but also towards the other European players. Interesting, in each of these, this is a common thing in life. The people who commit lousy behaviors and then get the response for that are oftentimes playing the victim, like, oh, look at it. How can you be? Look at Rory's said, shut up. But they don't take into account their own behavior, and that's what we saw in each. We saw the last one particularly where Rory was over the ball. Somebody said, with vulgarity, something about him, and Rory backed off, and all the other fans were saying, "Oh, really, Rory? Seriously?" So the message here is, I I don't think it speaks well of our country. Now, I'm all
Yeah.
about, I mean, I will be the first to admit that back in my day when I was a young man, I would let referees and umpires have it. In games I played in and games that my kids were in, I was bad. And I'm embarrassed by that and don't want any of my kids to be that way now.
I was rough on them too.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Golf is the sport, along with tennis,
Yeah.
where etiquette and decorum are a part of the game. And is it a reflection on our country or is it a reflection on boneheads? And I will maintain two things. Those people that are acting like that, they may be sports fans in general. They are not golfers. They are not golfers, or they would not do that. That's number one. And number two, um, when the Ryder Cup has been in all kind of other places in our country, it doesn't happen. So what does that tell you about the New York area?
Yeah. Now,
That's all I got.
yeah, Eastern New York, which is where, again, this is
That's all
right
I need,
outside
right?
north of New York City. I think that holds a lot of validity. If you held that event in other parts of New York, I don't think any of that would happen. I can tell you in terms of having lived
Wouldn't
so many
happen
years in
upstate, would it?
Buffalo, yeah,
No.
it wouldn't happen. And so it's boneheads that are making a great sport not enjoyable. And I don't blame Rory one bit.
I was just about to ask you, what do you think
I
about?
don't have any problem. I mean, Rory's not innocent because Rory, when he would make a good putt or another teammate, his partner would make a good point, he would work it up and, do all that, which he has a right to do.
Right.
But it doesn't. I mean, I could see where I would want to get after some player that's doing that, but Rory's doing that because this fan base is all over him, and that's Rory's in his 30s. Once he ages, he would stop
Yeah.
doing that.
And
But
they need to cart people like that out of there.
yeah,
This does not happen at
yeah,
Augusta. And I'll tell you what, Rory, because of the fact that he's chased so long to get the fourth major for the career Grand Slam,
right.
and then he has become a fan favorite.
Yeah,
And the people that go to the Masters, those are golf people going there. The
yeah, they
people
love
that
him.
they're going to the PGA, those are golf
Yeah,
people there.
he doesn't.
And so
You're right
he's
about that.
become beloved in our
He
country.
has, and he loves our
So
country. Matter of fact, he would in a press conference after. I didn't include it to play because it was a little long, but Roy said, "Look, America is the greatest country in the world. I live here now. I'm married an American woman. I love this country, and so we can't. It would be unfair of me or us, but me to say these boneheads in New York represent the country. I think it for fans in other parts of the world." Or people in other parts of the world who already believe that America, we're a bit arrogant, we're a bit, flex our muscle, all that sort of thing. That only plays into it. And what I think will happen now is that Rory, in his own home country, now in 2027, is gonna say we are gonna act the opposite,
right,
and so we're gonna be shown how it's to be done out of Northern Ireland of all places, which is known for
right.
having terror groups and other things.
One bad
Drugs.
apple spoils the whole
It
barrel.
does. So there you
Yep.
have it for the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup was a great event, even notwithstanding that. Tom Watson did come out and say that he apologizes for the behaviors, and I agree with Tom Watson. All right, let's talk about James Comey. Speaking of boneheads, James Comey, not my favorite FBI director ever. Matter of fact, probably the worst I've ever seen, followed closely by Christopher Wray. But Comey is now under indictment. The grand jury found him to be to have likely committed 2 crimes. Although, as they say about grand juries, a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. Uh, but these 2 things that Comey has been charged with include the indictment includes 2 counts, 1 charge of making false statements to Congress, and 1 charge of obstructing a congressional proceeding. Um, I don't think there's any question that, at least for the first one, that Comey he answered it many times. Did you directly? Were you the anonymous source for a story in the New York Times, or for leaking personal whatever
Personal information.
personal or confidential or classified information? That's what I'm looking for. Were you that person, or did you communicate or give it to somebody who then leaked it? And he said unequivocally, no, on more than one occasion. Well, the grand jury has said that he is either that person or responsible for it. I think Comey is in a lot of trouble. I don't, everybody gets their day in court, so we'll see what happens. But Jim Comey has proven to turn out he something's off. He's the one who found seashells. He said that indicated the assassination of Trump. He's said other weird statements. He's just a bizarre. When this indictment came down on Friday, he made a video from his house later that night that just was bizarre. Although, like he was the victim in America, come to my defense and that sort of thing. I think this is the first of many to be paraded up. And whether we say, it's like I said, I don't know who was in the room the other day, but I people say, well, the revenge, or is this just holding people to account? And I'm like, who cares? So what? If there's anybody in America that has the right to be revengeful, which the Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we do recognize that. However, if there's anybody in the world that has a right to say, okay, I'm coming after you, it's Donald Trump. And in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I don't care. If Comey did wrong, I don't care if the origin for it is vengeance or the law or both, whatever. He did wrong, he should pay the price.
Yes, there will be more. And the whole key to whether that's acceptable or not. And let's remember that Donald Trump did make no bones about the fact that he would be going after people that he felt had done him wrong.
Yeah.
And the whole key there is, did you do Donald Trump wrong by committing a crime, or did you just do him wrong? And if there's a crime and there's no statute of limitations on that particular crime, go after him. If there's no crime, Donald, you got other fish to fry. Don't worry about getting your vengeance.
Well, speaking of statute of limitations, you know when the statute of limitations ran out on these 2 indictments?
No,
Today.
So,
So
they got him in.
Yeah, they knew they knew it was today and they were gonna get him in. But I think real quickly here, I think we ought to look for Adam Schiff, who's going to pay the price. I think that Letitia, the Attorney General in the state of New York, I forget her last name, is going to pay the price. I think Alvin Bragg, the district attorney in New York City, is going to pay the price. I think there are some others that are going to follow Christopher Wray. They're going to follow Comey. And the challenge for these people is that while they likely deserve it, I mean, it ruins them because it's so expensive and it wipes them out. So
Time will tell.
there you have it. Sammy, you got your 5 quickly, and then what we're going to do here is we do want to talk about Mamdani in New York and what's going to happen there. We're not going to have time today, so Sammy's random thoughts, and then we'll jump right into rhyme time.
Okay.
Let's hear it, bro.
All right. This is going to be unpopular with you, Dad, but I've done some thinking about it. My first one is I actually do like what Candace Owens is doing.
You do?
I do.
Okay. Why?
Because I haven't watched every episode, but things that she's saying make sense. And if there is something else, nobody else is doing this.
And so the audience knows what you're talking about. What is she doing?
She's going deeper into the Charlie Kirk assassination. She basically believes a lot of this is some BS, and she has a lot of good points. So I
Does she believe he
encourage.
was shot from behind?
I haven't gotten that far.
Okay. All right. Because
So
that's the disqualifier for me. If anybody says he was shot from behind, uh, I'm not listening to him.
she did question who placed a camera above him. I don't think she thinks that, but I encourage people to go listen to what she has to say
Yeah.
because I like what she's doing.
Okay.
This is not about ties, but the NFL needs to get rid of turf. They need it's tearing people's ACLs, it's hurting people's
Explain to
knees.
people what you mean.
Like
Artificial turf.
artificial turf. They
So
need to
that
go to
artificial
grass.
turf is made with rubber, with synthetic grass. I think there's something else in that base, obviously, but yeah, it's
It's the firmness of it.
Yes, it's
well,
not good for players.
what happened last night to
That wasn't turf.
Tyreek Hill? No, it wasn't. But I mean, we've seen things like that happen because of the turf.
That's
Yeah.
a good one, Sam. I like you.
So ever since the Charlie Kirk thing happened, a lot of people have been jumping out of their comfort zone, doing stuff. I wanted to shout out Cam Higbee. I've been watching him a lot. He's doing a lot of good stuff, going to campuses. So just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Number 4, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes being upset about it.
I love it.
And ChatGPT is the real MVP. I use him every day, probably 15 times. So
Yeah. So we with respect to that, we know the line not to cross with AI. Any reputable media company ought to know that you cannot cross that line. Unfortunately, there are papers in media companies across the country, particularly where there aren't any resources to use. I mean, they just use AI to do stuff, and you can tell. We will never cross that line. We won't even get up next to that line. But as Sammy said, particularly young people, there are ways it can make such a difference in your life. All right, very good, Sam. Very, very good. Thank you. All right, Jeffrey.
9 years ago this week, I discovered that I had prostate cancer. It's been a battle in many ways. It's been a lighter battle than many people have with cancer. I am today cancer free. God, knock on wood. We don't know if it lasts forever.
Yeah.
It's called the Big C. The Big C came to visit me. It arrived unexpectedly. A painful biopsy yielded the answer. Yes, you do have cancer. Things could have been far worse. I'm lucky to be able to write this verse. Many who got the visit never did get rid of it. I'm a fortunate one, still alive and having fun. The path to cancer free is no kind of pleasantry, but I liked and believed in my doc. Currently, my ticker still goes tick-tock. There are all types of seed, all are misery, all manner of cure, that is for sure. They don't all succeed, sadly indeed. So many have passed to heaven at last. They're in a better place, watching your prayerful face.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
9 years ago, you said?
9
Yeah.
years ago.
Very, very good. All right.
Today in history.
Today in history, and you said you had a good day.
I scratched out a little 11 and 2.
Okay, let's hear it.
Aided by 3 bonuses. Sam puts the rules up. Remember, the bonuses can really help you.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Let's
We've
do
had
it.
a lot of Continental Congress lately. The Continental Congress forced to flee in the face of advancing British forces, moved to New York, PA, New York, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
after briefly meeting in Lancaster, PA.
I have no 1869.
1784.
1777. 84,
Booyah.
you're in there, dude. You're in there. Thank you.
Wow.
Missed this one. Mozart's opera, The Magic Flute, premiered in Vienna, Austria.
1865.
1819.
1791.
Let's get out of the 1700s.
We're officially out of it. And I'm going to give you a little clue. We're out of the 1800s too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Addressing the public after co-signing the Munich Agreement, which allowed Nazi annexation of Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain proclaimed, "I believe it is time for our peace."
1890.
1939.
I already told you it wasn't in the 1800s.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't listening.
1938.
What did you say?
39.
Yeah.
And you know, Neville, you thought that annexing Czechoslovakia was all Hitler had up his sleeve. You
Yeah.
were short-sighted in that regard. The World Series was broadcast on television for the first time as the New York Yankees defeated, for the bonus, defeated who?
The Giants.
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh,
5-3 in game one. The Yankees would go on to win the World Series. The real question is, when was this first World Series broadcast on TV?
1953.
1956.
1947. And I really didn't
You
think
got
they were
it, yeah.
doing much about broadcasting then, but
Yeah.
the Berlin airlift came to an end after delivering more than 2.3 million tons of cargo to block residents of West Berlin over the prior 15 months.
1974.
1989.
1949.
What?
Man.
1989.
I don't know. I'm taking a beating. 1-4.
The first nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Nautilus, was commissioned by the U.S. Navy.
1977.
1968.
54.
Jeez.
Actor James Dean, who was also called the Rebel, he starred in the Rebel Without a Cause,
Yeah.
was killed at age 24, tragically young.
What was the last date?
Last
Or year?
date was 54.
Yeah.
James Dean was killed at age 24 in a two-car collision near Cholame, Cholame, California.
When did he die?
That's
You haven't tried that on me, and I haven't fallen
You-
for it.
You messed me up.
1966.
1996.
55.
This
We
may be my
close with,
worst oh, this is my worst show.
for the bonus, we close with Russian President Vladimir Putin signed treaties to illegally annex more occupied Ukrainian territory in a sharp escalation of his 7-month invasion. Work your timetable. Do you?
2018.
What's that?
18.
2021.
18.
2022.
Man.
You didn't think hard on that.
I didn't.
You didn't.
2 and 6. That's a
I did better than you.
That's brutal. Oh, this show is brought to you by Hoosier Custom Meats. Hoosier, Hooser. It's a great meat company. Provides you all kinds of meats, all kinds of cuts, beef, ground beef, patties, cutlets, fajita meat, chili, stew meat, New York strips, ribeye, and fillets. So you can get all kinds of stuff: jerky, snack sticks, smoked sausage, so on and so forth.
Get
So
'em
if
all.
you're looking for great beef, HooserCustomMeats.com, HOOSER, custommeats.com, or 903-688-1446. That is 903-688-1446. With the holidays coming, those are great gifts if you ask me. All right, two last things. We are giving away State Fair tickets. The way we're going to do this, because it's gotten clunky with us trying to figure out how to mix the live with those who come on later, because those who come on later know that it's recorded and there's no sense they comment. So what we're going to do, Sammy is going to be posting over the next several days ways you can win tickets to the State Fair on Waxahachie Sun Facebook page. So go to the Facebook, Waxahachie Sun, and you will find opportunities to win 2-4 tickets to the Texas State Fair, which started on, what day was that? Saturday?
And it runs
Yeah,
through the
Saturday.
19th, and you're probably going to
Yeah.
start giving away 4 at a time.
Yeah, probably 4, but
to-
if you only need 2, you can tell us that. And then our last true facts that sound like BS,
Okay.
but that aren't. This is a
Go.
sports one. because I don't think I did this the other day. True or false? Legendary Lakers player Jerry West has won more NBA championships than any other player.
False.
Jeffrey?
Isn't it? It should be Kareem.
No, it's not.
True.
False. Despite being one of the greatest NBA players in history, West went, listen to this, went a miserable 1-8
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
NBA Finals.
Jeffrey, my
The
He's
one
not
with
up
the
there.
most championships is Bill Russell,
Bill Russell. That's what it is.
11
Yeah.
for the Boston Celtics. So there
Yeah.
you have it. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back on Thursday with more great content and lots of fun. So, Jeffrey,
Make it a great day, and please try to put a smile on someone's face today. I hope and think and pray that we did it for you today. Boom.